What's up with it, man? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notification so that you're able to get each and every one of my videos. Before I get this video started, I want to give a shout out to the brother Luda Ryder Sports. If you're not subscribed to the homie Luda Ryder, definitely go subscribe to the homie Luda Ryder. Uh, Always bringing great content, always going live, always talks football, basketball, and as well as a other conglomerate of different things on his channel. And is one of the brothers in the LDBC or whatever. Uh, a just a good guy, man, all around. Definitely go sub to his channel. He was the one that saw the story first and mentioned the story first as Sam Jones, Hall of Famer, Celtics legend, man, who won 10 titles with them, dies at the age of 88. And it's crazy because I was talking about the Celtics team yesterday in reference to age. Uh, age not being a factor in winning championships or whatnot, and you know, he was he was he was the one that brought 10 titles in the late 50s and the 60s. Now, he died Thursday night in Florida, and he had been hospitalized because of failing health. That's what a Celtics spokesman, Jeff Twist, has said. And the team has planned to do a moment of silence before Friday's game, against the Suns. Uh, Sam Jones was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 1984. He played all 12 of his NBA seasons with the Celtics. He paired with the late great Casey Jones, who also passed away in the backcourt. He was a shooting guard, known for his quickness, his leadership on the court, and one of the best bank shots in the game. I remember my uncle used to tell me about his bank shot because he would talk about guys like Tim Duncan and everything. He was like, nah, Casey Jones, and he was a fan of the backboard for some reason. I didn't really like the backboard except just to use it as a layup or soft floater or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he did have that bank shot. Jones was undrafted uh, and unseen by Auerbach in 1957 out of North Carolina Central, which is a HBCU. The Celtics were coming off a title, and Jones thought he had a little chance of making it into the lineup with Bob Cousy and Bill Sharman. And then, also, he ended up forming the legendary backcourt. He said, quote, I never felt so miserable in my life when I got the news, Jones said at the time. I really thought it was the end of my basketball career. Sure, I was thrilled with the honor. I never thought I'd be able to break into the game, let alone be into the lineup. We got to understand something. Let me stop right there. Times were different back then, especially when you talk about the 50s, you talk about the 60s, you talk about salute to everybody. Salute to you, Alex. Salute to you, Big Who. Happy New Year's to you, too. And salute to you, Stephen Green. Listen, I'm going to tell you like this. You asked a good question. Guys like, the guys that played in those times, you got to think about, like, they didn't have the technology that they did today, and they were just as athletic. You saw what they just said. They were just as athletic, just as quick, and just as fast and everything. Matter of fact, it's interesting because the homie Too Raw for TV, man, I definitely go check his channel out. Back in those times, the pace was really super fast. Everybody thinks that it was really slow and all this other stuff. That wasn't the case. Because you got to think about it, man. Stats weren't tallied during that time, but these guys, like Wilt Chamberlain and all these other guys, man, they were grabbing like 20-something rebounds, getting like you know, 10, 15 blocks or something like that. You know, that's why like um, there's an argument there about you know who should be league leader or all time in blocks and all this other stuff. But Sam Jones, he was nice as well as KC Jones. You know, you look at that Celtics history, 10 titles, man, 10 titles. You know, and I know some people are gonna come with, oh well, there was only a couple teams, or you know, these guys were playing against cab drivers, or these guys were playing against firemen, or these guys were playing against uh, you know, industrial workers and stuff like that. Hey, if you listen, I'll put to you like this: if you can go and play a full 40+ minute game after standing on your feet all day and working, that says something about you. You understand what I'm saying? So we gotta put things in its proper perspective and stop saying, okay, well these guys were trash and all this other stuff. When you really don't know it, actually, you know, I'm willing to bet that it was even more physical, you know, back then than it is now, because you got to think about what type of shoes they were wearing. You know, these guys were wearing like those like flat Chuck Taylors, those stuff ain't good for your feet. That stuff is not good for your feet, especially if you have if you're flat footed. Okay, yeah, but even still, if you have an arch in your foot and stuff like that, man, that's not good for your feet. There's no support. So if you come down wrong or something like that, and you know they didn't have the technology, you know what I'm saying, or you know destroyed your Achilles or you tore an ACL or something like that, that was just pretty much it for you. You know, so you got to put it in its context like that. But I'm going down a different path. But you know, Casey, I mean, Sam Jones was, you know, he was good for. And see, my grandmother, she had the opportunity to watch uh, Marilock Lemon from the Harlem Globetrotters, and you know, so a couple of other people, whatever. But she used to watch those guys because, like I said, my grandmother, you know, she went to a Prairie View. So, and as you know, he went to a black college too. So she would follow different guys, you know, like that. My grandmother was a little bit older, you know, because I was always interested in like asking my grandmother, like, did you watch basketball? She said, oh yeah. Used to love the Harlem Globetrotters, but she would go into a big old story about how it formed and the Harlem Globetrotters and stuff like that, you know. So, but yeah, man, you got to pay homage to your past before you get to the present, because a lot of these guys laid the foundation for what you see today. A lot of these guys were serving in, you know, there's a couple guys that served in the military, they put their life on the line and then come back and then they would play, you know, and then also you got to look at the what was going on in terms of racism. That's a whole nother story. If you know my channel, you'll see that I talked about the 1966 Texas Western team and what they had to, how they broke the color barrier for NCAA and college black college athletes to be able to start 5 African Americans. That was huge, and that was in college. That was Don Haskins. You know, and see, this is another thing. Dude. A lot of shout out to Ticket TV and as well as Two Raw and as well as Elder Two and LVZ, all of them, but mainly Ticket. Listen, y'all sit up here and y'all always think that the LDBC brothers don't know their fucking history. Or and a shout out to Lou the Writer too. Dog, you got to know your past before you know your present. So don't ever think that you're just going to sit here and think that, oh, he's just all about basketball, or he's all about football, or he's all about this, or he's all about that. Nah, I'm very multi dimensional, and I can talk about things other than sports. One of the things that I love to talk about is going back into time and talking about history and stuff like that, and about what happened, about the real shit that happened. So, and somebody tried to sit up there and ask Ticket about what happened with JFK, and he had to cook them. He cooked them in his own way too. Just because we're not sitting here banging on education or banging our degrees or telling, you know, and all this other stuff. Don't get the shit twisted, man. You know, because you know a lot of people, they'll put you, they make a stereotype about you because of the way you talk, or because you're not sitting here talking like the guy that's on, like a Morgan Freeman on the fucking History Channel or something like that. You know, so I don't want people to think get the shit twisted, nigga. I had to do fucking book reports, nigga, while everybody else was outside and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And if that motherfucker wasn't done right, I had to do that shit again, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had to get it done. You know, all my friends would be coming out there, you know, banging on the door, man, come outside, stuff like that. My mom would be like, if you don't get away from my motherfucking door, he got to do this shit first. You know, and the guy had to do that shit right. But, you know, the stereotype, well, you know, he doesn't talk this way, or he doesn't talk like a guy from an Ivy League school. So what type of intelligence does he have? Oh, well, what happened to JFK? You know, saying silly shit like that to take it as if he's not educated or something like that, or come at the brother LVZ or some shit like that. Like these motherfuckers, like he's not educated, like he didn't serve. He put his life on the line for the military. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be no dumb motherfucker to be serving either. So let's just put that in this proper perspective. But that's a whole nother story. I just want people to know that, you know, just because we don't sit here and do a 2-hour video going back into time and stuff like that, that doesn't mean that we're not well equipped of the knowledge of what took place in the past. And if you're gonna talk about basketball from a historical perspective, you have to put into context what was going on during that time. When you talk about the 40s, 50s, 60s, and even the 70s, when you talk about racism, when you talk about the various wars that were going on during that time, both from a civil perspective and also in the world. So everybody just think like, you know, these guys that passed away, oh, he was old anyway. No, I want to, and this is no disrespect to John Madden, but if you're going to sit there and we're going to celebrate, you know, John Madden, R.I.P. Madden, you better say R.I.P. to Sam Jones. What's up, Warriors 2022 chat? Well, you got to see first, Warriors 2022 champs. Got to see that first. You know what I'm saying? You already are crowning them. They ain't won yet, man. 10 rings, Hall of Fame, man. Yeah, they haven't won yet, man. They haven't won yet. Hold your horses. You gotta at least get to the finals. But you know, that's all, man. R.I.P. to the late great Sam Jones. Did a lot, you know, for basketball, and more importantly, man, he was a key contributor to 10 titles, you know, with the Celtics. So like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications. Like I said, big ups to the homie Lou the writer. Definitely go subscribe to his page. One of the brothers in the LDBC. Until then, man, it's Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment, man. I'll get at y'all later. Happy New Year.